Please put your hands together for Brie.
Awesome, thanks, Stephen. And before I get started, I'm actually a client of Will's as well, and his GPTs are really, really good. Just letting you know. Hi, everyone. My name is Brie. Who's seen me speak before, just out of curiosity? Oh, there's not many. Okay, cool. All right, it's going to be interesting. That's all I can say. So our mission and our astronauts. So I've got 18 years SEO experience. I have the longest running remote digital marketing agency out of Australia. We're a US-based company now. We have over 70 employees. We specialize in SEO, CRO, web analytics, data science, machine learning. And we work with Fortune 500 companies and private equity. Private equity are the best clients for us. They just give us a bunch of money, expect us to make more money, and don't ask any questions, and we like that. So that's what we kind of specialize in. That's a whole topic in itself. And so, yeah, I've come back to Australia 2 years ago. I was international for 7 years and working more with Australian companies. And I think part of my mission is to help grow the Australian tech community and digital marketing community, because there's been a growth in the last 3 years, and it's been really great to see that Australia kind of e-com boom has kind of happened as well. And I think that tech is the future, and I want to kind of innovate and share what we can do here, because this is obviously a very important thing. So go Australia. All right, if you want to understand SEO, build a search engine. This is a quote from John Mueller. So we've done exactly this, and it's kind of broken up in different pieces, like indie hacker process, but I'm going to show you how Google thinks. And this is not a talk with 7 tips and 5 hacks, okay? Now, the cool thing is tomorrow you'll have James Norquay speaking and Dejan as well, so they're going to cover more of the, kind of other SEO aspects, so just kind of stay with me here, because if I can help you conceptualize how LLMs work, how machine learning works, you're going to change the way you think about how you approach SEO to begin with, but not just SEO. Every time you go into ChatGPT and use AI, I'm showing you the building blocks of how that works. So it's going to be a wild ride. I'm probably going to break some brains, and I've got 45 minutes, or I've only 37 now. We've only had 40 minutes on the clock, but the point is, I've got to try to cram 3 hours of really high-level content into 45 minutes. So I'll do my best in that process, but just if you get some inspiration and some passion out of this and understand some of the concepts, that's a win in itself, and you can come and chat to me afterwards as well. We're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff. Let's get into it. That's a pretty freaky animation. All right, this is our bio. It's got the laser pointer, 1 second. Oh no, I'm going to have to learn how to use this thing. Okay, that's backwards. That's bio, bang, cool. So this is one client of ours. We can't go any higher than this because we have position 1 for all the related keywords. That's 6 million, 7 million, right? This is in the casino niche, all right? This is a lot of money. And the really cool thing is, it's the most volatile period in Google's history. Since March 23, it's been hella bad. Who here's been hit by updates and just been slapped around recently? There's definitely people, you're all lying. Not all of you, but some of you are, because it's been really rough. So even just to kind of get those results in this environment is really hard. So keep that context in mind when I show you the next results, right? You can see the trending upwards, how the algorithm loves what we do, especially since that algorithm update. And we'll just keep going through, just look at the numbers and the trending. So the process is really high level and abstract, which I'm going to explain to you, but I'm going to give you a couple of core principles which you can apply to how you move forward with SEO as well. So it's going to go abstract to really simple. That's the idea. So if you can stay with me, remember these results, right? Remember these results. So when I sound like if I'm losing you, just remember what's going on here, right? Look at these numbers. Just look at them, right? And look at the trend line. It just keeps going up. We're very busy. So this one's cool here. This one here is a new site, and this is the kind of stuff that we do. We'll take a client, like a private equity client, and we might build 4 websites for them and just throw a whole bunch of backlinks at them, and then 1 or 2 of them will pop. And this is how it works. So this is what we can do with new sites too. And this one will follow that same trajectory that you saw there. It will do the same kind of thing. You'll see it'll pop up, and then it'll kind of, in a core update, it'll hit, and it'll do that process. So what I do works, or what we do works. Okay. Information retrieval costs. It all comes back to money and profit, okay? Google is a publicly traded company. It's all about increasing revenue, right? So when you type in, you're sitting in your Sydney marketing office overlooking Darling Harbour, you type in Bali accommodation, you press enter. Information goes down a fiber optic and probably a copper cable down to some underground area up into Google servers in Sydney. And in a fraction of a second, it figures out what is the right website to deliver you from your location, your time, and your personal preferences, okay? And in that fraction of a second, like a tenth of a second, it goes through trillions of web pages, billions of websites, and finds the exact result that makes you keep going back to Google again and again and again, right? Does that make sense? It's really, this is like the information age. It's really humbling, this technology. It's super, super cool. And we just take it for granted. We just jump on there, we use our phone, we use the computers. But the reality is this happens in a tenth of a second. It's absolutely phenomenal. So you type it in, goes down the cable, the Google server goes through trillions of pages, finds the result, sends it back up the copper cable, hits the computer screen, hits your eyes, hits your brain, you get the result, right? It's super, super cool. Now, this whole process, in order to do that at scale of like trillions and trillions of searches a second, it costs a lot of money for Google. It all comes back to information retrieval costs, okay? So if you make it more efficient for Google to deliver your result for a specific keyword, you're helping Google save money and you get to win. So it'll sit there and say, okay, for Bali accommodation, this website goes here. This is we're going to send this one here. This one is going to be ranking. This one's going to be ranking. So in order to do that process, you need to have the strongest signal for a keyword term. Let's just take the term actually car insurance. You want to rank for car insurance, right? And your website is about car insurance. There's a content piece on it. It's a really good piece of content. And then you have a whole bunch of good quality backlinks pointing towards your website. And we'll get into what good quality backlinks are. And then a whole bunch of internal links that point towards that thing. You're creating this pressure system for car insurance that pings up. And in that fraction of a second, when Google's looking for a search about car insurance, your website has the strongest signal. Does that kind of make sense? Like, it's like this kind of like, these are the signals that's showing on a website, if that makes any sense, right? So you need to make the strongest signal. So I'm going to show you how to make the strongest signal. And when you make the strongest signal, Google gives you the traffic, like I showed you before. So content is not king. Gary Ilias, who is one of the main Google guys, they track over 4 billion URLs daily robot.txt files. That means there's trillions and trillions of pages that they are manually reviewing every single day. And with the age of AI, the cost of content is going to zero. Okay, it's going to zero. So content is not king. It's really easy. The barrier to entry for content is really, really low. And if you want to rank for a term like Bali accommodation, there's probably 200,000 pages written about Bali accommodation, if that makes any sense. So we know that content is not king, okay? Technical SEO is important. There's 3 areas to SEO, right? There's content, technical SEO, and backlinks. Technical SEO, yeah, your website needs to be indexable, needs to be somewhat fast. If you're dealing with a very large website, there's more complications than that. But overall, technical SEO, you kind of do it once, check it once a year, and that's done. So you've got content is not that important. Do some good content. It's not that hard. Technical SEO is somewhat important, but not super important. And then you've got backlinks. Backlinks is where it's at. This is the secret sauce. Now, what are good backlinks? So Gary Ilias, I used to run a conference called DMSS. Some of the people have been here in the room. And Gary Ilias spoke at it. And the whole reason, the most valuable thing I got out of my conference was actually private conversations with Gary. And one of the private conversations with Gary is like, man, guest posting, like they're all just like they're not even doing real outreach. They're just buying links and it's not real. And he's like, don't worry. We have a patent. We have an update that's going to come out and just totally obliterate guest posts. It's pretty much what he said. And he said, look at this patent here. It's called the Reasonable Surfer patent. So he gave me the piece of information that I needed to work against when the updates hit. The updates hit July 21. And this is Google's website saying guest posts don't work. So Google's saying since July 21, guest posts don't work. So please, people, stop buying guest posts, and I'll explain to you in more detail why that's the case, okay? They don't work. I'll get there in a moment. Now, what does work? There's two variables. This is the patent that Gary Ilias told me to review, and it's called the reasonable surfer patent. And what it says is links with clicks are very, very important. It's pretty much a simple way of saying it. So links with traffic. So pages, so if you have a website and you have a backlink from a page that's got traffic, and people kind of go from that website, that page there, and they go and click on the link to your website, that's a really strong signal for Google. Does that make sense? Like super strong. And that's what Google's looking at. So if you can get pages to link to your website that have traffic, that's incredibly valuable. I'm not saying website traffic. You know, most people are buying website. They're buying traffic. They're buying links from DR70 plus with 5,000 traffic. That's website traffic. That's not page traffic. It needs to come from the page. That's the issue. And when you look at the traffic that's coming to those websites most of the time, it's normally junk or informational content, not converting content. And that's the difference here. This is the second patent that's really, really important. It's called topic-sensitive PageRank. Everyone knows about PageRank. It's the original Google algorithm. Topic-sensitive PageRank is the iteration from that. So let's just say you want to rank for car insurance. The Google Spider, the Google robot comes in, or the Google bot comes in at, let's just say carinsurance.com is the main website, the authority in the car insurance niche, right? The Google bot comes into carinsurance.com first and then crawls outwards. It finds all the links on the website and follows all those links outwards and finds all the links pointing back to carinsurance.com. So the only thing that matters to rank for car insurance is in with this car insurance niche. Does that make sense? Because if you write about car insurance on like Forbes.com, Forbes.com isn't known for car insurance, so it's irrelevant. Does that make sense? So the links need to come from this specific area. And what this is some of our work, but basically it's showing like the tiers and clusters and how all the links point back to that one website. This is a kind of graphical representation of what I mean. So let's just say it's Nike shoes, right? The Google bot will come in to Nike shoes and then work outwards from Nike shoes. And then everything outside, like 99% of the internet, is completely irrelevant. Does that make sense? Because Google doesn't have the capacity to crawl every single website and every single backlink for every single query. It needs to find what's important to this query and eliminate 99% of the noise. This is what's really important today, and this is what it all comes back to. It comes back to two things. Backlinks that have traffic on the page, and is the page topically relevant? And I'll get more into that in a second. So this is Word2Vec. This is Google's first LLM. This is the beginning of the AI age. This was a massive moment, 2013. Like this is where it all started. Google, even though they're not the coolest kid on the block at the moment for AI and everything, it's all of their research that's created this AI movement. Now, the really cute thing is, so the BERT LLM, which is the main LLM that Google uses at the moment, it's got 340 million keywords in it and like thousands of dimensions. The first LLM they created only has 71,000 keywords in it. It's like super cute. It's really, really small, okay? Now, if we look up here, you're searching for country, right? And then underneath that, you've got nations, areas, states, Europe, communities, and then over here you have cosine and from small to bigger numbers. So remember this cosine word and understand that what's related to countries is nations, areas. Did you see that process there? Like, so if we type in the keyword countries, we're going to have nations, areas, states, et cetera, et cetera. If we put in car, we might have, motor, wheel, insurance, et cetera, right? What this means is that these are related keywords. And the cosine similarity the closer the smaller the number, the closer it is in a cluster. So you might have a cluster around, this is a cluster, and say it's a cluster around the keyword countries, and around that cluster, the related keywords like nation, area, state, and those other things are very tightly related. Are you following me here? So the clustering, the closer the word is, the tighter the cluster. And what this means for Google, it comes back to that signal that I was talking to you about. The more clustered your page is from like a topical perspective, and the more clustered your backlinks are, the stronger the signal for that specific keyword. Is that starting to make sense? This, and I'm going to keep repeating this process again and again for different ways. So basically, this is the process called tokenization. This is a really cool, I'll get into it in a second, but basically, we're turning words, right? We tokenize them and turn them into numbers. Just watch a little bit. I don't know how much you guys know about this stuff, so I'm going to go start moving into LLMs right now. This is a software program called Manim, and we can write animations in Python and animate it. So we've done that here. These vectors are actually really happening. That's actually where they sit. So more than are very close to each other. We have a very close, and agencies and success are quite far away. I'm probably lost you a little bit here. That's okay. I want to come back. So you have a word, right? And then you tokenize it. It means you're turning that word into a number. And when you turn that word into a number, you put it into three-dimensional space. So if I go back, all of these words here have been turned into numbers and put in three-dimensional space. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, so every word relationally is in a different place depending on the context, right? So in this situation, yeah, these words are all kind of, and then they get tokenized and put into a three-dimensional space. And that's all you need to understand from here. We'll move on. Now, in that three-dimensional space, if you look at this example at the top, aunt minus uncle, okay, Italy minus Germany equal Hitler plus Italy minus Germany equals Mussolini. See, Germany and Italy, it can figure out that Hitler is going to be Mussolini. Does that make sense? It's correlation, it's creating context, right? Now, the way to explain that, another way to explain that is like, if you have Apple, right? Apple can be a fruit or it can be a tech company. Which one is it? Which context is it, right? This was the hard thing to figure out, and this is what they figured out. So if Apple is next to banana, it's in the fruit vector. If Apple is next to Google, it's in the tech vector. Does that make sense? That's what I need you to understand from here. And then like, if you've got, yeah, that's what I need you to understand from here. I could just go really deep and I haven't got much time, so I'm just trying to like get through it as quickly as possible. Now, in this example here, Lufthansa is a German what? Lufthansa is a German airline. Everyone can do that, right? But in order for the math to understand it, it has to turn into three-dimensional space or multi-dimensional space to figure this kind of stuff out. So this is your auto-suggest, right? This is how auto-suggest works. You type it in, it starts putting the next thing up. But this is how your ChatGPT works. So when you're typing into ChatGPT and you press enter, it's doing this process like times 10,000 to figure out the answer. It's like, it goes like Lufthansa, like it knows it's an airline. Lufthansa, German airline, right? That's what it's doing here. So try to understand that concept. And if you start this, I can go so much deeper in this, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. Now, why does that matter for link building and SEO? I'm getting there right now. So this is a page, a URL, which is about a Warcraft game called Mythical something or other. Mythical Games. Oh no, it's actually, Mythical Games is actually a company that actually bought something. But anyways, the point of the matter here is this page, we extracted this page into one key phrase, two key phrases. We extracted all the content on this page exactly the same way that Google does, like the same way the BERT LLM does. And what we've done here is we figured out that this page is all about mythical games. It's about Warcraft. We know that this is about, you probably can't read it so much, but it's about Warcraft and mythical games. That's what's important here. That's what it's seeing. That's the cluster. That's the visual signal that Google's getting in three-dimensional space. Now, what that looks like in three-dimensional space, this is a website about actually car sales. This is a beautiful round cluster. This website, if we look at it the same way, this is the same way Google looks at it, right? This is Google's software. This is Google's LLM. This one for cars, it's got cars, dealers, trucks, SUVs, car sale, automotive, aftermarket. You can see all the keywords that are really relevant, right? And you see how it's a round cluster. So if you're trying to rank for cars with this website, you're going to do really, really well because it's a very clear signal. This website is about cars, automobiles, trucks, SUVs, right? We're starting to get that. Now, this is an extraction of a spammy page. This is a hosting website that's talking about online casinos. Hosting should have like VPN, WordPress, and all these kinds of things around it. And then you have online casinos over here. It's unrelated, completely contextually unrelated, right? Do you think Google is looking at that online casinos page and putting it in its index? It's not, right? It's not putting it in the index. So when we scrape that page, what we've got here is like poker, online, new casino, just basically spam, right? So what does a spam website look like when you turn it into three-dimensional embed? It looks like this. You see how it's like long and strewed out and kind of like going off in multiple vectors? Those vectors are probably like the entertainment part of the website, the fashion part, the medical part. Like imagine a guest post link farm with like, fashion, entertainment, finance, all those things. That's what all those vectors will be. And that's not giving a strong signal to Google. You get where I'm coming from here? Can you see the kind of like, we're basically using Google's BERT LLM and algorithm to do it the way that they do it. Remember the results at the start? This is conceptualized from that. So, the next part of this process is called cosine similarity. Who knows what cosine similarity means? Who's heard this term before? Yeah, there's 3 of you in the room, 4 of you in the room. Awesome. Okay. Everything with AI is cosine similarity, okay? Everything is AI. Like you guys are hearing this first here, amazing, cool. This is what's controlling everything right now. And it says up here, it's used because it captures the semantic meaning behind words and other maths used in machine learning and AI. Basically, what this means is if you've got three-dimensional space, you've got those clusters that I showed you before, right? You've got the cluster from before. That's three-dimensional space, right? Now, if we have apple and we have banana, the angle between apple and banana is very small because apple is very close to banana. But if you've got online casino, apple and online casino is down there, the angle from here to there is very, very big. And what that means is it's unrelated. So if you can understand that cosine similarity, a small number means it's really, really related, and a big number is unrelated, meaning it's not in the cluster, that's all you need to know, right? Pretty cool, huh? So you can see here, I'll wait for this to go through again, but you'll see there's like tier 1 network, tier 2 network, you'll see the cluster moving out in three different stages. And this is a client of ours, see 1, 2, and then 3, right? You can see how it moves out. This is the same way Google is looking at your site and understanding what your site's about. And this is processes that we do. So, I'll explain another way. This is the three-dimensional version of cosine similarity. This is the two-dimensional version of cosine similarity. And this is not one-dimensional, but this is the math behind cosine similarity, okay? So what we can do here is we wrote a Python script, a couple of different scripts actually, and we can figure out how related the backlinks are for the client. And when I show you the last results that we get, we have some amazing results we'll share at the end, and it's all based on cosine similarity because the stronger the cosine, the tighter the cosine similarity is, the closer it is, the stronger the signal for Google, and the more it matters, okay? And this is just analysis between us and competitor. Some websites that work on the large Fortune 500 ones, they'll have like multiple people working on the website, and our links just outperform everyone else's links. And so if you want us to do some cosine similarity on your website, you can actually just scan this QR code as well. But this is the software that we wrote in Python. Yep. But you can come and talk to me afterwards as well at the booth. But this is super important. This is what's going to make you millions, if not billions of dollars. No, I'm serious. I'm genuinely serious. Like like you saw the results. It's like totally, this is the math. And this is just a cool animation I got my VFX guy to do. Just enjoy. So, coming back to the simplicity of everything, right? Let's make it super binary. The binary part is, does the page have traffic, right? And is the keyword related? Does it rank in the top 20 for the keyword term or related keyword term to what you're trying to rank for? That's all that matters if you break it down to simple things. Technical SEO, yeah, do an audit once a year, tick that off the box. Content, yeah, write good content. You know, use Surf for SEO, not that hard. Don't buy guest posts. Use this process. That's it. Like, that's it. Okay, I can stop the presentation now, but we'll keep going. Yeah, do you get it, right? Like, this is all you need to know. Does it rank in the top 20? And does the page have traffic? If the page has traffic, Google trusts the site with its traffic, right? That's basically it. It's just simple. So, oh, here's a whole slide on that thing. Yeah, DR and DA. So basically, when Google developed LLMs and vector databases and vector search, like in 2013, think about how far along the way that's been. Do you really think they're using the PageRank algorithm anymore when there's so much spam and so much content out there? They're not. They've moved on from that. And the thing that they've moved on to is cosine similarity. That's what they've moved on to because that's the best way. It's reasonable surfer paid, links with clicks, and topic-sensitive PageRank. Is it ranking for car insurance in this area? If it's not, and it's 99% of this junk up here, it just gets ignored because Google's not going to crawl it, index it, and try to relate it back to that. That's what's going on here. So DR and DA is like really super easy to manipulate as well. Like we took two Trump websites. And we basically pointed a whole bunch of backlinks at it. We took them from like DR20 to like DR50 within like 6 weeks. So it's really easy to manipulate DR and DA, and it's really easy to get traffic. So stop using DR and DA as a metric. Use cosine similarity. This is what's going to make you the money. This is what makes you the most efficient SEO company or like team that you can be. All right, so what we did, what I didn't explain is our main data scientist that we hired is ex-McKinsey. I'm sure some of you know who McKinsey Institute is. So he's an ex-McKinsey data scientist. So he's a bloody genius, okay? And the stuff, he's a hacker. I could probably do a talk on the stuff that he's hacked from the Macedonian government, but I probably don't want to incriminate him. But basically what we did is we basically scraped 23 guest post marketplaces and got all the backlinks they have on their inventories, okay? There was a couple that we couldn't scrape, but they're really easy to scrape. It was super easy for us. So we have aggregated every single guest post marketplace in the world. If you don't know what a guest post marketplace is, it's a place where you can go online and look for places to buy links, and it's just the worst place to buy links. But out of all those links, probably like 2 or 3% are actually really, really good. But the other 98% are absolutely junk, and it's toxic, right? So don't buy them. But we basically got over 500,000 in our dives, and it's growing as well. And it's just, we have like hundreds of millions of keywords on file. So you can give us a keyword, and we can actually just find you websites that are ranking in that niche and build links for that specific keyword, which is very, very cool. Now, we had a client come to us, and they gave us a list of 1,000 keywords, and they said, we want to rank for these 1,000 keywords, and we ran it through our database, and we got 20,000 linking opportunities, which is a lot. This is like 3 times the amount of links that they already had on the website, and they were a massive website. And out of the 20,000 links, we then started to filter them out based on like cosine similarity and relevance and pricing, and if we had the pricing details. And from that 20,000 list, we found the 1,000 best linking opportunities for them. So when we're working on this scale, this would have taken hundreds of thousands of man hours. Imagine going through more than 500,000 websites and checking them for 1,000 keywords. Yeah? It's a stupid amount of work, right? So we can run a script that does that and just gets the diamonds. And all we want is the diamonds, right? So this is the future of link building. Everybody knows PageRank. It's the original Google algorithm, invented in 1999. It was Sergey Brin and Larry Page's PhD thing, and they said, we're going to take the whole internet and put it onto one computer, onto one hard drive. And everyone was like, you guys are fucking crazy. Like, you can't do that. And they did it, right? And why did they do that? So they had an indexable and searchable database so they could figure out how to enter and retrieve information and put it in the right order. Because before then, it was just absolutely junk. Now, the interesting thing about PageRank is if you have a website, let's just say it's like carinsurance.com, and then from that page, you have 5 category pages, right? 5 category pages underneath that. And let's say there's like a page rank of, there's like a link juice equity of 100. If there's 5 category pages underneath it, each page will get 20% of the link, 20 link juice points, if that makes any sense, right? And each of those 5 category pages, let's just say they have 2 pages underneath that. From that 20 that they originally have, they'll give 10 to each page. Does that make sense? This is the way PageRank algorithm works. And think about it like arteries and veins. So somewhere your website is actually, got a lot of link juice, and somewhere it's not actually, right? And so what we do is we use another scripting language called R, and we run the PageRank algorithm on websites, and we can actually figure out, we do some other stuff on top of that, but basically we can figure out how PageRank is working on their website. So what we do is we take the PageRank score, and then we mesh it, we basically blend it with Google Search Console data. So we'll take all the clicks and impressions from Google Search Console for that specific URL. And what's really interesting here is, so the ordinal number is like this is the position, this is the page 103, like in rankings, like how important it is, like how big the page rank. So the higher the page rank up here, the stronger the page. This is where the link equity is going. So you've got a website that's got a strong, authority and presence, but it's like leaking all of its juice to the wrong pages. And what you'll find is that a lot of times the link equity will go to like the contact page, the help desk, the support, because they're on a lot of specific pages. So the link juice is flowing to the wrong area. And so let's just say that maybe this page, these 2 pages here, which are really got a lot of link juice, are not important. They don't need to rank, right? But this poor little page down here needs to rank. So what do? We divert the page rank from these pages to this page. And what does that look like? It looks like removing some internal links and pointing them to the other page, or putting no follows on those pages. Does that make sense? So now think about it, right? Technical SEO, content, backlinks, pressure system. You've got your page, you've written your content, you've got these external links that are really strong signals and strong clusters pointing to the page, you've got the content there, and then you have the internal link structure. And if you can just boost and pressurize the internal link structure to the right pages, you only need like 10 pages to really to hit it well. So external links are coming this way, internal link juice is flowing this way, content is there, that creates the pressure system. Can you see that? It's that simple. It's that hard too, but it's that simple in a lot of ways, right? So, and this is really cool. Like we can learn a lot from how this is done, because right now it's not about, we need more links, we need more links. It's like, how are you distributing the link flow, the link equity properly across your website? This is the quickest ROI for any website, is this process. It's not buying more links. So then what we do, this is more for clients just to visualize it, but what we've done here is we've taken that I think there's over 4,000 URLs in this one. It's a big website. And we basically, everything that's green is a page that has a high amount of link equity and is also ranking in Google. And everything that's black is a page that has a high amount of link equity and not ranking in Google. So the pages in black are bad because they are stealing link equity and not ranking, okay? So what we want to do is try to eliminate the black, is probably the simplest way. And this is a three-dimensional representation of the two-dimensional Excel that I just showed you. So that's a three-dimensional representation of this. This is more for clients, but it's just so that you understand how this looks, right? And because there's a lot in this. This is incredibly valuable, especially for larger companies. Now, I had like 8 slides on our machine learning algorithms, and it was like all the algorithms. I was super excited, and I was like, oh my God, I get to do machine learning algorithms with you guys. I don't have time. But what we did is we took a database of 9,000 high-quality websites that we use and 9,000 low-quality websites. And then we ran 1,000 SEO factors through this machine learning, or more than 1,000 SEO factors like, H1 title, H1 tag, number of words on the page, number of words in a paragraph, number of words in a sentence. And we basically ran the model, and what we were able to figure out was, we're trying to figure out whether sites are link farms and like low quality, or whether they're actually high quality, legitimate websites. So we run 2 passes. What we'll do is, like, for a client, because we have large clients, we might take 10,000 backlinks to a competitor. So we'll find a competitor's website. We might just extract 10,000 linking domains that are linking to their website that aren't linking to our clients. We'll extract them out. We'll run it through this machine learning algorithm process, and we'll figure out which ones of those websites are real websites and which ones of them are shit. That's the first phase of the process. And the second phase of the process then is that we run it through our cosine similarity and kind of figure out the relevancy of those links, right? So you can imagine that if you had a human checking 1,000 different ranking signals on 10,000 websites, how long that would take, right? It's a very long time. It's not perfect, this system, but it eliminates so much time for our team. And so this is a quick graphical example of like what we're able to get out of it. You can see the difference. Don't worry too much about the entity distribution and stuff like that, but these are shitty sites. These are good sites. Just see how the graphs are different in this example, right? It's really easy for us to do this. Very, very easy. And this is something that we found out is even easier to identify a shitty website is sentiment analysis, right? Now, the interesting thing is for link farms, because once you start figuring out which ones are link farms and you've identified that, you can find more and more clues on how to find them. And this is the same process and the same machine learning process and algorithms that Google is using. So if we're doing this stuff, imagine how, we're just a fucking ragtag misfit bunch of whatever. Imagine what Google's doing, right? Now, the really cool thing here is on guest post link farm sites is the sentiment analysis is always positive or very highly correlated with positive sentiment. Like, buy these dick pills, they are great. Use online casino, it's amazing, right? All that kind of stuff. It's always really positive. Think of it like, the Sun newspaper in the UK. Like, it's going to be really polarizing, whereas the Guardian will have objective, positive, and negative kind of viewpoints. So a normal website has objective and positive viewpoints, whereas link farms really easily to spot because they have always positive viewpoints. This is some of our data studies, data science work, correlational matrices. I'd love to go into this, but I can't. And these are the algorithms I wanted to explain to you. Now, the really cool thing is, there's a couple of cool things. The way to think about algorithms, like, think about it like a mixing desk for sound, right? And for one keyword, some algorithms will be stronger and other ones will be less, right? And for another keyword, some will be stronger and some will be less. An example would be if you're talking about like anything in the medical industry. Because it's all like your money, your life kind of terminology, you need to have very strong expertise, authority, and trust in that niche, right? So our backlinks don't work as well in that niche because the algorithm has more of a weighting on expertise, authority, and trust. A lot more doctors and things like that need to be kind of in that, right? Whereas if you're talking about online casinos, the weightings of the different algorithms will be different. And when I say algorithms, I mean like you probably heard of like, the penguin update, the panda update, hummingbirds, caffeine. These are all the algorithms. So it's like a mixing desk, and every single keyword will have a different kind of blend of each of them. And so when Google or Facebook or any of these companies, they create an algorithm, everyone thinks that they're like kind of sitting around like, putting this like math formula together and and they're writing this whole thing. Realistically, what they're doing is they're grabbing bunches of different algorithms and layering them together and tweaking the variables to see what the outcome is. So they're taking already existing math formulas and they're just tweaking the variables a bit. And these are some of the math formulas: decision tree, random forest, XGBoost, logic regression, support vector machines, and neural networks. And so these are the models that we run. This was saying that this, whatever website that we're dealing with here, has a 98% accuracy in this model of being a link farm, 99 in this one, 98 in this one, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a 99% probability overall between the different algorithms that that website is a link farm. Cool? I'd love to go more into that. That's a whole other conversation. But anyways, so if we can do this, right, imagine how sophisticated Google is. So when you're buying a DR70 link with a website traffic of 10,000, why is it not working? It's because of all this stuff, right? So this is the kind of like, feel-good ending to the whole process. Thank you for joining me on this journey too, guys. Like, really appreciate it. Thank you. So Stake.com is one of the biggest online casinos in the world. It's actually an Australian-based company. They also own a company called Kick.com, which is a competitor to Twitch. And some of you might know this guy, Peter. He's the lead SEO for them. He's a technical wizard. I absolutely love Peter. And he engaged us. They basically, Stake.com, they sponsor Everton Football Club, Formula One team. You can kind of imagine their marketing budgets, right? So when we were engaged to do link building from us about 10 months ago, the clients and the competitors in the niche are spending over $1 million US a month on backlinks. $1 million a month, right? A month. And what I'm going to show you, so it's like, fuck, okay, how do we come into this niche, right? They're spending this much money. We haven't got that budget. And look at this keyword term, right? Online casino, right? Super fucking hard. Like, I don't know of another keyword that's harder to rank for in the online space. There's not a keyword out there that will drive as much revenue as online casino, right? Like, if you know it, please tell me, because I'll fucking go for it, right? It's super fucking hard. It's just, this is billions and billions of dollars, right? So in 10 months of working with us, we have them in the top. Before they started working with us, they were below 30 for online casino and related keyword terms. Below 30. They weren't even in the top 10 for all these keyword terms. And in less than a year, at a fraction of $1 million US a month in backlink budgets, we get these kind of results for them. Don't worry about the change stuff, it's not so important. But basically, look at these positions, right? Online casinos, 1, 1, 4, 3, 2, 5, This is billions and billions of dollars of revenue. Billions. This is the biggest fucking win we've ever had, and we'll probably ever have, right? Like, what other keyword is bigger than this? So, I know I've spoken a whole bunch of fucking weird shit to you, like vectors and data. I was talking to my head of SEO, Peter, who's here, and I was gonna bring this like square prism and like kind of explain multidimensionality past 3 dimensions. And he's like, bro, don't go there. I was like, okay, right. So I didn't go there, right? But it's weird and abstract, right? It's weird and abstract, but I've shown you the results that we've got for our clients consistently and this level here. So if you want to make billions of dollars, come and talk to us. But no, like seriously, like stop fucking doing guest posting. Stop doing guest posting. This is what's working. Understand the pressure system, external links, content, internal page rank, create the signal, information retrieval costs, make it simple for Google to use your website as the first thing, and traffic, and that's it. And then you'll get these kind of results. So, quick recap. That was the recap there. And less is more, right? So I explained something really wide, and all you need to know, does the page have traffic? And is it ranking for a related keyword term? That's fucking it. Thank you for listening, guys. I really love feedback. Tell me where I lost you and stuff. So come and chat to us after the thing. But I love feedback. So come and chat if you want. Yeah, I would really appreciate that. This is what we do. My YouTube channel is really crap right now. We've got a whole bunch of cool videos that are not on there yet, but they'll get there. But thank you for listening, guys. And please, I want to know how you feel about what I just explained to you. Cool. Cool. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.